dark and void. I don't really know what to expect from this one. If it's anything similar to Roxas, it's probably going to be, post Cage 3 Terra, kind of thinking back on everything he's kind of gone through. And even if it is that, I'm okay, But let's experience Dark and Void and see what post Cage 3 Terra has to say. It was darkness. Just darkness. Well, no, not even darkness. If Aqua sank into the realm of darkness, then where had I been? Did I even exist? I'm sure I know I existed, but I have no idea where I was. I was in prison behind Xehanort, but my consciousness, my heart was sealed away. So where was my heart? It wasn't in the darkness, so maybe it was just in a world of nothingness. A world without darkness or light. You can't have light without darkness, and you can't have darkness without light. It was somewhere like that. I wasn't asleep like Vin was. It wasn't the realm of sleep. I wasn't dreaming. I was just in a world of nothingness, and that void became pain and sorrow and anger that rushed over me. All I could do was just writhe in its grasp. Maybe that place was like the world where Unversed came from, a void that only takes in grief and suffering, a world where hope and joy could never exist. The void was like the darkness, but also not. Nothing could spring forth from there. All I could do in that world is wait. I can no longer remember what I thought, what I did in that world. I just waited. No, that's not quite right. I believed in our promise. Even now, I still think about it, about whether the power of darkness is really so detestable. I mean, right before my eyes is that boy I entrusted the Keyblade to, all grown up, and he controls the darkness while still being a part of the light. So why wasn't I able to? And then there was the heart that nestled close to mine. There, it continued to quietly encourage me. If he hadn't been there, I wouldn't be standing here now, standing in front of his grave. Master, did you forgive me? Or maybe I haven't been forgiven yet, and I'm only still here so I can atone. I know there are no answers to my questions, and no one has to forgive me for my sins. Even entertaining the thought of being forgiven is so presumptuous of me, a weakness. Terra, Ven, let's have tea. Aqua smiled brightly, and Ven turned to look at me. Those two have probably forgiven me, but I still can't forgive myself. Terra? Aqua peered up at me, looking slightly anxious. I was careful not to sigh, but exhaled softly, and then I smiled. I wouldn't mind cake if it's not too sweet. It has been a while since I made a galactic caramel pound cake. I want strawberry jam tarts. Vin grinned up at Aqua. Those were the master's favorite, although Terra never liked them much. Aqua laughed softly, and then her face fell slightly. From now on, we'll always carry the burden of grieving for our master. But we're not alone. The three of us can look up at the night sky once more. We can look for falling stars. And from now on, we'll always be together. Man, dude. I think I was able to really pinpoint when this takes place. It seemed like this takes place in that credit sequence in Cage 3 when they're kind of at the master's grave. This is probably what they were thinking about, what Terra was thinking about at that moment. That would be the most likely. I think I can fully... there's a lot of people in this community that really just hate Terra. And I feel like, everybody's subject to their own opinions, but I feel like after one person said Terra sucks, everybody just kind of lost sight of what Terra's character really was supposed to be. In a sense, yeah, you could say Terra made a lot of dumb choices, and a lot of those dumb choices ended up leading to a lot of people getting hurt. But at the end of the day, that just shows he's probably the most human character in this entire series. He's the person who wanted to do good the most out of everybody. But because he was so blinded by trying to do the right thing, it ended up causing him to be, taken advantage of. So it's like, left and right, whether it was a Disney villain or Xehanort himself, they all just started manipulating Terra, exploiting how good he wanted to be, because they knew they could take control of that and make him their pawn. And I can see how that would frustrate somebody when you can look at this character and say, bro, that's obviously a villain. This man Xehanort has yellow eyes. You really gonna trust this man like that? But it's just like, but the thing is, Terra doesn't have a single reason to not trust him off rip. Mainly just because Xehanort is like, even in Cage 3, it says that they were best friends. And if they know this is his master's best friend, it doesn't really matter what he looks like, that's his master's best friend. So why wouldn't he trust him? It'd be strange not to. And I know you can say, well, that doesn't apply to other characters, but that's just who Terra is. He's a nice guy who sees the best in people. He sees what others have a hard time seeing. And that's just the kind of guy Terra is. And I feel because of what he went through during Birth by Sleep and all these years in that void of nothingness, as he explained here, it's gonna probably change Terra. He's probably not gonna be as nice or as trusting as he was before, just because trusting and seeing the good in people is pretty much what caused all of this in the first place. And I don't think hating Terra, just thinking he's a dumb character, really does justice for what Nomura was really trying to show for Terra. I think Nomura really just wanted to make a character who was probably the realest of us all and set an example for what it's like to be too trusting and too human, I guess. Aqua is overly anxious about everything, and Vin is just so young. He hasn't really learned who he should trust and who he shouldn't trust, because it's not like everything. Ventus didn't do stupid things too. I don't think he really needed to fight Vanitas. I feel like there was another way he could have gotten away with things. I mean, if he just hid, then he would have been fine too. And that's just me. But because if Aqua remembered something about hiding Vin in the first place, maybe they could have transformed the Land of Departure and hid Vin away, still fully conscious and everything. And then they never would have had to forge the Keyblade in the first place. That's just one example. But this story isn't really about Vin. And I'm just saying, I just kind of trying to reinforce that everyone makes mistakes. Riku's whole character is about building upon his mistakes. Except Riku had more time to make up for it, while Terra made mistakes and didn't have a whole series to get an arc of development. He had to be saved from his mistake. And I feel like that's the real difference. Because I feel like if you like Riku, it's hard to not like Terra too, because their characters are so similar. It's just Riku's situation ended up saving him. Terra didn't have Mickey there, to save him from Xehanort at that point. Aqua couldn't do everything on her own, but Sora was not there, to save, Terra or anything, but Riku had people to save him. So had bring him to his senses. He had people there for that, but Terra didn't. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just rambling. That's just me. But what do you guys think? Did you guys like the Dark and Void story? Were you able to get a little bit more appreciation for Terra out of this video? I really hope so, because he really was a great character and someone I look forward to seeing more as this series continues. As you know, Cage 3 isn't the end of the series, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys haven't already, be sure to check out my Jordan the Analyst channel. It is always in the description box below, or you can check it on the right side of my channel, as the link will also be there as well. And I'll throw in a video on the end card at the end. Generally what I always do. If you guys are interested in one of those, definitely check that out. That's what I consider my main channel. I'm trying to get in the groove of things, 2 to 3 videos a week on this channel, while I can get one review or my experience technically type of video over on the other channel once a week. And we're going. Shout out to my new editors, Bruce and Jonathan. Really appreciate them doing that stuff. Getting editors was honestly probably one of the best things I could ever do. But thank you guys so much for watching. My name is KingdomAce, and remember, my loyal knights, to always fly skyward.